Hi, Choice here. Thank you so very much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. I wanted to speak more about how we've managed to get ourselves in this situation of oppression, suppression, subversion, various forms of mental slavery, and because we're working to liberate our minds, how do we get to a point where we relinquish our power? Think about it. How does one take a confident individual and bring them down to the lowest state vibrationally? How do you take a high flying vibrational being and bring them down to where they're in a constant state, to where you bring them to a point where they have lost themselves and they consistently vibe on a low vibrational, in a low vibrational space? Let's talk about subversion. We know how from very young we're indoctrinated through education models, various models of education, through our religious doctrine, through our social engagement with other people, and of course with family. We are, as we get older, we go to school and we deal in that social place with other children. Some children are picked on. Others are like born leaders. Others are more like bullies, So they're in an environment like that, which begins to mold and form your way of thinking. What your parents are about begins to mold and form your way of thinking. What you come in with as an archetype, as a predominant characteristic of your nature is there. But we're not going to go into that aspect so much right just yet. I just want to speak about what we observe this day as to how we've managed to get here from a human perspective. There's this thing that is done to people when you want to get control. There's this saying, give me your child for the first 7 years or even 4 years, and I'll tell you who that child will become as a man or woman. There's a science to the madness. So the beginnings of subversion has to do with putting someone in a system where they're systematically spoon-fed information that will then begin to demoralize them. It will then begin to take away that free spirit, their freedoms of thoughts, of perceptions, of will, begins to strip them of courage, confidence, of their esteem. So, for instance, someone may use colorism, huge, all the way back to slavery, prior to that, the lighter, the whiter, the better, right? What does that do to one's self-esteem? We all know about this. And then it's played out across law, it's played out in religion. It's played, you get the white Jesus, there's played out in religion. Well, anyway, thank you so very much for joining me for another quick word, Choice Spirit. Thank you. Bye.